live with Kurt Schoonraad. How are you doing, my boy?
Yeah, I'm groovy, man. I'm all good. I'm in there like swimwear. But yeah, this lockdown stuff's got me on. I don't know what to say about this. This is gonna keep me nuts for a while.
Yeah, but at least, I mean, if you're a comedian, there should be some good material that comes out of these things, right?
Well, the problem is that the audience is the part I'm missing right now. They're all at home. Um, I'm trying to do some online stuff, but it's very difficult to monetize it.
Yeah, I've
I
I've
mean,
been working on that.
who's gonna pay me to go and do my show online when you can watch Chris Rock for free? You know what I mean? I'm like, yes, like okay, but I'll figure something out. I'll figure something out.
How's I mean, so you behind the comedy club, and I
Yeah,
take so you guys are closed, eh?
yeah,
And
bro.
no
For
idea when it's gonna open.
well, I think the whole of South African entertainment industry is in the same situation. In this lockdown, we will be like the second last oaks to go back to business. Us in like the old age homes. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? Because bro, we need audiences actually. First and foremost. So yeah, my YouTube channels was probably going to get quite a bit of content over the next couple of weeks, but other than that, bro, I'm just writing the material, trying to make sure that I got something to talk about when the dust settles.
Mm, sure, man. No, this is gonna be a hectic one. We
Yes, bro.
look on our side. We in the same boat. We don't know when we're gonna print a magazine again. We just no idea.
Well, I reckon this is a time of change, bro. This is also a time of opportunities and stuff.
So adapt or
I took
die.
the opportunity to grow a policeman snort during lockdown. You know,
I thought it
um,
looks like now you need to go buy a cortina or something.
no, bro. The moment I started to grow this, a patched leather jacket appeared in my wardrobe. You know, Detective Schoonraad, bro. This is in protest of my lockdown. I'm gonna end up with an asterisk snore at the end of it.
uh, so so listen, we've been known each other for I counted the other day. It's been like 15 years almost, eh?
Yes, it's giving a little bit of a testament to my age and yours, there, bro.
Exactly.
You were like fleet-footed and fancy free. Yeah, we used to catch on all kinds of stuff. It was lekker.
Yeah.
All I used to do was just cruise, and all it was for me was like I needed a cooler car to cruise for next week. That was it, bro.
That's true. So a lot of
Before the
guys
kids and all of that.
before the kids. So I don't know if a lot of guys know you were behind the great show Going Nowhere Slowly.
I remember that show. Yeah, it was fantastic. I loved it. It was one of my
That
babies, and yeah,
yeah,
I remember it very fondly.
that was what end of in the 90s, early 2000s, wasn't it? When that came
It
out.
was from about 2001 to all the way through to about I think the last shot was shot about 2012 or something like that.
That's a
2013.
brilliant show, dude. What car did you
Cheers,
guys
man.
drive then, man?
We had a couple of cars. They were all big Yank tanks in red, so most people didn't realize that we changed them once or twice. Because you know what it's like in like the mid 70s, sorry, the mid 60s in the States. Everything was square and like
Hmm.
yacht-like. So we started off with a Chrysler 383. And that was the first car that was called Big Red. And then we ended up with one or two other cars in between. There was a Ford Galaxy in between. There was an old Triple S Datsun at one stage as a token car. And then we ended up driving a 67 Impala for a good couple of years. And that was Chili Pepper that became very, very popular.
Mm. Yes, dude. I mean, now these days, if you would redo that show, your fuel bill would probably be the biggest, most expensive thing out of everything. Eh?
Well, we had an engine sponsorship, and thank God Because the only thing we needed after a car like that driving through sub-Saharan Africa is that you needed to tow along a petrol station with it.
You pass
That,
everything except the petrol station. Eh?
bro, I'll tell you what, I got some stories about being on going nowhere slowly with that car and petrol problems. And I'll tell you a quick one since we are talking cars, right?
Go for it.
Shoot the breeze. Right? So we pull up in this really small town in the northern Transvaal. So it's about 10 o'clock at night and it's sheeting with rain, bro. You can't see your hand in front of your face. It's just pissing with rain. So we pull into this garage under the canopy. We're like, hey, a little bit of spot to pull up and catch a little bit of a. That time I was still smoking, a little bit of escape before we head out. So I get out the car, pull up my boy. He goes, nie meneer, ons het die petrol nie. So ek sê vir hom, maar julle petrolstasie is nie meneer verstaan nie. Die petrol is hier. Maar ons die power is uit. En ons het die petrol nie om die generator op te sit. So I'm telling him, so wait, let me check if I got this right now. You're sitting on a couple of tons of petrol here. But to get the petrol out, you need some petrol in the generator to start it up. My bro, I shit you not, this one bruh in the sheeting rain with a small little can like it, ran to the next town to get some petrol. To come back to the petrol station and put it in the generator to start so we could put petrol in Big Red. Bro, it was just, when you go, that's the only South Africa you'd have a problem like that.
Brilliant. That is
But
brilliant.
there was tons of those. There was tons of those kind of issues where you go, oh, that is a South African problem.
Yes, dude. But I mean, we did one of the most epic first runs. Well, there was. I mean, what was that? There was the Rubberneck tour.
The Rubberneck tour, that's right, yeah.
That was
I'm
epic.
going to revive that, bro. I'm going to bring that, I'm going to revive it, guys.
You got it. You got it.
Basically, once all of this shit ends,
So for the guys that's listening to this, so Kurt came up with this idea named the Rubberneck Tour, and it was you, me, Simon, JP, John Jeffrey, yes,
all of the old arseholes really in one place.
It was chaos, absolute chaos. Out of this, so everyone, out of that, the cover of the first SA Hot Rod magazine came out of that tour. I think we came over a hill towards Oudtshoorn. I stuck the camera out through the window. I took shots, and it was John Jeffrey in the 27 and your 57 behind it on the road. That was the cover. Shot done, dude. That was epic.
I am going to send you some pictures. I have some epic pictures of that tour that I've never actually distributed yet, but I'm going to make sure you get a copy of it. And there's some cool video footage as well. I don't know if you remember Dave Lev, the other comedian, was along with us.
That was
and we had a world-class photographer with us as well. I don't know if you remember.
The one that got beat up by John Jeffrey's tires because he kept hanging. Yes.
Well, he was hanging out the back of a John Jeffrey's pickup at like 120 km per hour, I mean, so this oak's the kind of oak that the Francois, he would do everything to get the right shot. And I'll show you a couple of the pics. I want to pass a couple of the pictures on to you, bro. They are just unbelievable. Like calendar hot rod stuff.
Oh,
really?
Dude, but that was actually, you shot that for TV, but I think you never ended up using that in a TV special or anything.
Well, I think it was a little ahead of its time, man. That was about 12 years ago.
Yeah, 13, because I mean, that's when I started 13. The magazine.
Now think about it. This was before Chip Foos's ideas. This was before all of those big programs and American Hot Rod and all of those things were on TV. We were trying to put together a show. Now, I think it's important. I'm inspired now to go and get that footage out and recut it.
Well, my level, I don't just do print now, I do TV. I can help you now. So we should talk. I know some people now.
Bro, I'm telling you what, there is footage there, guy. Decent stuff. And also just also the kakprat, bro, that's going on backstage there. Some of it was recorded, and there must be like little pieces that you can put out as podcast type stuff,
Dude, it was.
type stuff. And man, there's some really good quality stuff there. That's really going nowhere slowly. In its truest
We
form.
lost the one night. What we lost to? Oh, your camera's falling. You're going backwards.
Well spotted there. I didn't see it, bro. I didn't see it go.
We lost 2 people in one night. Remember, we woke up the next morning. We couldn't find Gary. Pierre was missing. We went driving. We found Pierre at Ronnie's sex shop like 6 hours later.
Well, I
sleeping
think
there.
maybe we should contextualize a little there for the Oaks Watch thing. We were with a group of other Harley guys doing a similar run, right? Down the R62. So there was a lot of going on that weekend. And there was a lot of cross-tiring with, ek top dit af vir jou and it just got crazy. But it's one of those quintessential, fantastic, pleasant moments or memories in my mind about how cool hot rodding can be in a community kind of sense, It was cool, man.
Dude, one of my biggest moments was Pierre Berger, 58 Cadillac convertible. Driving
car, man.
through the Karoo, Route 62 with Creedence Clearwater Revival playing on an iPod, and you just say all you can do is 65 miles or 60 miles an hour, dude. No, sorry, it was 50 miles an hour. That's as fast as it can go. And you're just hitting the highway, dude. That still today, best moment.
On that same trip, right? On that same trip, I was on a Harley electric glide with Pierre as well.
Yeah.
Going in between Oudtshoorn and like Barrydale, I think it was, down that long stretch of the R62 there. And we were cruising. It's like we were kids back then. There was no helmets, no dirt, bro. We were just going, bro. And I will never forget this. I got off that motorcycle about 2 hours late, and my lips was so chapped, man. I could put the Volkswagen in the gaps in the crack there, bro. I was walking around, I guess, I couldn't talk, bro. The sun was just going my lips, bro. You're not used to that kind of thing, you know what I mean? But that's a great memory, great part.
You've got quite a big car collection. I mean, last time we saw you, you just sold the 57. I mean, that 57 was your baby, bro. I cried when you.
Also, a little bit of context about that 57. I mean, that 57 had air rides on 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't say air rides on 20. Before it was cool. Before Mr. Foos did it. And, I remember dropping that car in front of wherever it was I was parking, because it was impossible to steal when the air was out. Right? At most, you could take it for a pull, but you're not going to steal it. And that was my biggest fear. Someone stealing my 57, man. I spent a fortune on it. And anyway, long story short, I sold both my Camaro and my 57 at the same time to start the comedy club.
Oh, dude. That's heartbreaking. So it was
to watch them both leave like a few days apart. But you know how I treated both of them. They were like,
yes.
Everything was like,
yeah.
So, a lot of the young comics always go, oh, you're on the comedy club, you don't know what it's like on the ground. It's like to hustle. I'm like, don't talk up to me, bro. I had to sell 2 of my children to start. So I know from sacrifices, my guy.
Yeah. Look, when I got divorced, I sold my 49 Chevy that I had.
I remember.
I lost my ex-wife and my 49 at the same time. I still miss my 49. So
Good.
Yeah.
What is
So
there's a couple of liquor old gags about you. Like, like the average hot rodder, they call their wives a different thing when they're with the boys. So they go, hey, listen, we're catching a ride up to the N1, the engine on Sunday morning. You in for a cruise? I'm going to check with my handbrake. Get back to you, bro. I would never call him my handbrake spool.
I know.
Uh,
That's fine. So now, have you got anything interesting at the moment, or is everything still in the club, brother?
well, no, I've got a lot of interesting stuff, bro. Where do I start? I've got a 59 Studebaker Hawk. It's almost done. It's been going on for about 10 years almost, bro.
Yeah.
I'm building that one with NASPAR. No reproduction, nothing, bro.
Yeah.
NASPAR stock 289 motor with all the bells and whistles, but overdrive transmission and a whole shooting match in silver with red leather. It's literally we're putting on tires and electrics and that kind of thing. Right?
You kidding me?
I've got an 81 Trans Am that's also just been painted. So it's black and gold. We're just gonna put decals on and put the gold rims on, and we're ready to roll,
You
bro. I got a
kidding me?
Simon helped me find a big 454 for that car, bro.
Yes, you must be lucky that the fuel price is dropping then, eh?
Hey, bro, I'll tell you what. No, that's the kind of car you save up for a spin. Like you phone the bank, you go, I'm in a mood for a cruise this month. How about another bond? And then I've got the 33 Ford 3 windows that the Barry is building for me.
Yeah.
And yes, he built a chassis, bro. That is just
I saw that chassis. That is the
that's my
prettiest. One of the
chassis, bro.
prettiest things. That was one of the prettiest things I've ever seen in my life.
My bro, I almost don't want to put a motor in it. It's just so pretty, you know what I mean? Or body on top of it. It's just so pretty. I mean, it literally now. If I also don't know, Barry Asmal's like the second coming of metal workers in this
Yeah.
part of the world. And I believe you did the metal shaping course with him as well. Eh? I mean, this
What?
guy's a genius. Did you not learn the first time this football?
I'm a bit slow.
I'm starting. You'd be pleased to know. I'm starting a YouTube little extension on my comedy channel called
Yeah.
Kurt Loves Cars. So
No.
I'll throw some stuff your way. Maybe we should link up and swap some footage and stuff. Mine will be a little more than a little just hot rodders or hot rod stuff, because there's some stuff I dig that I wanted to talk about that's a little outside of the normal hot rod stuff. Like I want to feature a Datsun Triple S because I got such good memories of it growing up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Such good. And I got I own a Piranha Capri, bro. I own number 261.
Oh wow.
Yellow and black one. And then I've got a 51 Chevy Coupe, gold one. Can you picture that one too?
So you must have moved houses, because last time I was at your place, did you had a shed like 2 houses down where you were hiding cars? Are you still out in?
Now you want to hear something funny, bro? In Mitchell's Plain, I have got an Oldsmobile 65 442 convertible.
Where did you find that?
Bro, I had a Nestle sticker all over it when I found it about 15 years ago. It's a
Yeah.
very, very, very rare Oldsmobile muscle car offering. 400 cubic inch. It's literally an Impala with a different grille and a different taillight. But it is a fantastic piece of kit, my friend. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing one important. Oh, I still got my 55 Chevy Two-Door.
You still got? Yeah, last time I saw you, I mean, you had been busy with that one for a while, right? That was it. Still.
That one is. I mean, maybe I should. Sorry, my bro. I'm trying to get.
That's fine. We can overlay stuff.
Sorry. So with my 55, that is like a very
arguably the highest end build I've ever had or ever done. And
That's the
so
one
I'm
where you had
spending a
Lloyd wheels hiding in your roof, wasn't it?
yeah, yes. I they well spotted, my bro. I still have those rips. Bro, you must come into my office upstairs in my house. I've got about 8 sets of the rarest rims up here, bro. And no one will know they're up here. I'm gonna set the bullet specialities there, set the torque thrust over there, set the Boyd Coddingtons over there. But they're all meant for cars that are building up here. I don't exist.
See, you got the wheel sorted. You just need the car now.
My bro, that's how I build a car. Sometimes I like a key. I'm like, I like this. I'm gonna build a car around it.
Ah, yes, you
Oh,
see,
and how can I forget? Sorry, I've got the '67 Camaro that's almost done as well.
a 67.
My
That
bro,
was
not
that's
just any
very,
67, through a 3L car, which is very,
very rare.
it's a genuine RS SS vehicle with the hidden headlights up front.
Where
Bro,
did you find that?
I must tell you the story. It's like a story that you hear of in the movies, man. So a friend of mine phones me up one day. This is about 7 years ago. He goes, "Bro, did you see the Camaro under the tree in Lansdowne?" I said, "No." He goes, "Bro, there's an RS Camaro standing under a tree in Lansdowne." And I sort of got upset with the owner. I told him, "Listen, bro, I've got a good mind to put the phone down on you right now. Talk shit to me like this with this RS standing under. And like telling me there's a unicorn tied under a tree in Mitchell's Plain. You know, it's impossible." So anyway, a couple of days later, I'm in the area. So I go to the road he mentioned, and bro, there it is, guy. I'll send you some pictures of those too. A red one, bro, it has all the extras you want on it. It's got the original Hallibrand magnesium wheels on it.
No.
It's got the hidden headlights up front. It's got the all-in-one taillight out back with the reverse light underneath the valence panel. It ticks all the boxes. Headrest, fold-down back seat, which was made at a Group N car. So those were very, very rare, bro. So it's very, very rare option car. And it was 7 years ago. The woman said, "Esses, man, I want a lot of money for it." And she thought it was a lot of money. It wasn't a lot of money. I paid it, and I ran away before she changed her mind. We've been restoring it ever since.
Yes,
We've been restoring it ever since, bro.
Yeah,
So,
you better
yeah,
send
that
me
one's
photos
also
of
almost done.
Nice, man. Sorry, my machine's pushing stuff in. We you know that's scary. When we were busy with cars back in the day when we got started with everything. One of the first shows I did with SA Hot Rod magazine was Castrol Extreme in Joburg, and this guy walked up to me and he says, "Listen, I want to ask you a question, but I don't really want the answer to this." So I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I had a 1968 Camaro convertible." I'm like, "You had?" He says, "Yes." He says, so like I said, I mean, this is what, 13 years ago. And the guy's like, "Yeah, yeah." And I had to beg a guy to buy it from me for 30 grand. I'm like, "What do you beg him?" He says, I wanted 35. The guy refused to give it to me. I couldn't sell this car. He says, and I begged him to just, okay, give me 30 for it to let it go. I'm like, "Yeah." He's like,
Joe, I'm sorry, I've got a silly thing going on over here. 1 second.
like 68 convertible Camaro. And he's
Now,
like, "How much?"
I'm gonna try and top your story over there, my bro. Because if my memory serves me, I'm a little older than you.
Yeah.
So I know from one or two bargains pre those days, right? I remember a meeting a oak who had a '58 Corvette, and we were standing at a car show, and he was there with another car at the time, also a fancy car, because he's clearly a oak with deep pockets, right? So we're standing there and he's chatting. He goes, it's the funniest thing right now in that Corvettes you can get real money for now. Is there was a time in the 80s where I had a 58 Corvette. I had it up for sale for like 2 years. Nobody wanted to buy
What?
it. It was selling for something silly like 35, 40 grand or something like that. But
1.2.
nobody. No, bro. I've seen one, and I'm not even talking about a genuine GM product. I'm talking about those reproduced fiberglass ones with the LS motors in them, right? For like 1.4, 1.5 bar,
Mm.
dude.
No, I know. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. It reminds me of a story as well, where a buddy of mine had a C2 Corvette.
Yep.
Okay. But this thing is mint, dude. Brought it in. He had the soft top for it, but hard top that you could go with it.
Is
right
it an
there.
early model, early C2?
60, yes, the early model 6, but it's not. But the car's original.
Yeah.
And he joins an American car club in South Africa. And the head of the club also drives a Corvette, but he drives a C4 Corvette. So the guy
No, we didn't do a swap.
No. The head of the club got very upset with my buddy because his Corvette was taking more attention. So he came up to him and he went, "I don't know what you're doing with your plastic piece of crap." And my buddy went, "But you know that they're all plastic, right? They're all fiber." The guy's like, "No, mine's not plastic."
Bro. They've never been anything else but, bro.
Mm. It's the Corvette stuff just got absolutely crazy. I've got me, or the guys Crosley and Webb got me involved in a build a while back to help them out with it. And I was looking about 6 or 7 of them from the States. I found good prices on them, but they were the water damaged ones, from the floods in the US. And even then they were landing in like 250, 300K, dude. And then they like you have to start scratch. Dude. There's nothing left on that car. You basically got the fiberglass, and that's it. Yeah.
You know what I really. This you just clicked a memory for me right now. You know how many cars I see that stripped. It's up for sale right now. And I'm telling you right now, if anybody's watching, don't strip your car. Please don't strip the car because it's unlikely to ever go back together again.
I blame chip foos. I promise you, for the fact that every car you see is stripped or has been stripped, I blame chip foos. Because back in the day, and they made the biggest mistakes because the first thing they did is, part comes off. It's okay. I'll find another one.
No, you won't.
There is no finding another one. I had a build that basically the build was delayed for a month and a half because I couldn't find bolts in the country. Bolts, not like big bolts.
Now this is exactly why I'm saying what I'm going to say here, and this is because I've restored 6 cars, 7 cars now. Bro, I'll tell you what, every little original part you take off, you put it in a bag, a Ziploc bag, and put it there. No matter what it looks like.
Yeah.
Mark where it came from, put it in the bag. Like, I will never, ever, ever again strip a car without having every single nut and bolt in the country before I do so. I will check every list, get everything in, make sure everything's there. Go through it again. A third time even to check the inventory, make sure all the nuts and bolts and all. And we restore it with the right bolts, with all the right clips, because that's half the job. There's nothing that irritates me more than buying a car with a popper of it through the chrome trim.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's such a cheap solution to such a very, 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 very expensive problem.
Yeah.
Creating, Because, a simple piece of chrome trim at the bottom of a Chevy windshield, front or back, you're talking about 2,500 rand, bro. And that's for a reproduction piece, you know. Now you want to get the NOS piece because it must look right with the rest of the pieces in the windscreen. But that's a $5,000 piece of chrome trim like that.
Yeah.
By the time it lands here, it's $5,000, bro.
Mm.
And you know,
Exactly.
most people don't. What they do is they do a little tally in their heads about what they're going to spend on a car. But what they're not taking into account is labor,
Yeah.
import duties, VAT. You don't build a car with that in mind, bro. I never
No.
did. I always build it with. I go buy parts with what I have in my pocket.
Mm.
But now you got all the parts. You go like shit, bro. No one told me it's going to cost $80,000 for a decent paint job.
Yes.
And bro, so you gotta tally all of this up before you start even. Because I'm telling you right now, I will reluctantly take on a restoration game.
Mm.
It's just it's like taking on another child, bro. The kind of dedication it takes, like that Studebaker, the kind of dedication it took just to find the parts.
Yeah.
Remember, I can't buy it off the shelf. I'm looking for NOS parts. So I'm looking for Oaks who has a Packard Studebaker packet with the original packaging in it and the chrome trim inside it. Now, Oaks like that exist
Yeah.
in
That's it.
the Arizona desert somewhere, and I know a lot of them. And we on email can touch all the time. So if a part pops up for my car, they're already online. They're going, hey, Mr. Schoonraad here, we've got a piece of chrome trim that showed up that is perfect for your 59. Shall we hold it for you or send it to you? And I will go, they come in pairs, don't they? When the other part shows up, then you send them over and then come over there. But it's, bro, I reckon you can save a crap load of money on a build of a car by just knowing what not to do.
Yeah. That's true.
Yep.
That's true. And you think I know guys who've been building cars for 30 years and they still learning.
Oh,
You
bro.
you you think you know it, you've got this thing down, what's gonna happen, but that's every day is a learning curve. What's that old saying? Every project is a broken bolt, but every 5-minute job is a broken bolt of being a week-long problem, you know? Um, and that
And
is
no part, even if you buy it off the shelf, no part is fit. You
Mm.
gotta take a piece off there, take it, and then you go, and this little piece, and then you go, and then some more.
I I I rebuilt a 62 Beetle. I'll never ever rebuild a Beetle again. Ever, never. I
Wow, I'm
will
working
never.
on one right now, bro.
Uh, sorry for you, my bro. Never ever will I touch a Beetle again. Okay. So I redo the 62, and I import the weather kit, rubber kit from the States, from Germany and stuff. Comes in, and I'm putting the car together. And I mean, I've rebuilt. I had this car repainted 3 times because it was black and there was always a mark. And then we take it down, it's not right, back again, repaint. I had the motor rebuilt twice. Okay, on this car, it was just it's one of those projects that just hates you. Okay, just like
Some projects just don't want to be done like
I
nicely.
don't.
They fight everywhere.
So it's got the little corner window. So I go through the box and I'm like, but this corner window rubber is not here. So I check everything and I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. This little corner window rubber you buy separately, as in left one separate, right is separate. The cost of this little rubber was more than half of the entire rubber kit per side. Okay.
Correct.
So I get this from EMI, I get this rubber in, and then it doesn't fit. You have to cut it to make it fit. So now you've got this piece of rubber that you've been waiting for 6 weeks to get to you, that you didn't know that wasn't available in the kit, that now you have to take a blade to because it doesn't want to go into the spot because it's not made for it, or they just don't jump.
You know, I'm gonna break your heart here, my friend, and tell you that you can get every single rubber that you need for that Beetle right there in Cape Town.
I know you can now, but when I built it, it wasn't
Ah,
there.
I'm building a replica KDF wagon. I don't know if
Oh,
you know what a KDF. It's a wartime
yes, the military one. Yeah.
That
Where did you find
so
that?
I'll send you some pictures of that too. I just finished shooting a thing called Finding Funnyland, where we drove that from Joburg to Cape Town with Dave Levinson again,
Yeah.
and we had a couple of gigs on the way down.
What's next, dude? What's happening on your side now?
Well, bro, there's so much going on that I can't remember what I just said. What was I saying again? Okay, well, there's a lot going on right now. I'm literally gonna go back to the basics and go into that space where I'm literally gonna reacquaint myself with the audience again. And that's a blessing in disguise, because I'll tell you what, man, I look forward to that. I was very good at that. And I never really wanted to own a comedy club to the extent where I don't perform anymore. But it's happened to a large degree. And my bro, I just put out a new one-man show about in early March. I was playing at the Baxter, and it sold out. It's called Living with the German. About my relationship with my vrouw over there and how our cultures clash. And it's sold out, and it's a killer show. I can't wait to put it on, my bro. But right now, I can't. What am I'm gonna run it at home to you, maybe. And you're not gonna pay me $50 even, bro. So I don't know, eh?
I'm a cheap fucker.
Like I said, bro. Like I said, I'll just put it on your tab, actually. I'll take it out your paintwork next time I see you, bro.
But listen, if once lockdown's over, let us know where your shows are, dude. Then we pull something out and we start. And then when you come into my valley, we go scorch some meat together.
Well, I'll tell you what I should do is I'm planning a trip down to Mossel Bay. There's a theater in town over there. And I'm planning to run there. So when I'm coming down, I'll let you know, and I'll come down a day or two early, and we'll catch on a bit of cock and maybe pick up the 7-Eleven, sniff a couple of petrol tanks, have a lick of quiet Thursday night, bro.
Just like we did in the old days, man. Yeah, nothing big.
Stockings
Box
overhead,
and
bananas in
plate.
hand, Alex, you know.
Yeah, dude. Listen, thank you so much for being on the show. Eh? It was absolutely
Thanks for
good
having
to
me,
see.
bro.
And
Lovely
yeah,
to see
listen,
you too, man.
look after you. Be safe, you and the family, man.
I'll
And
try
all
my
the
very best. You too, man. I'm not sure how crazy it gets in Mossel Bay there, but stay safe.
dude. When people, I mean, we've got a retirement, village, everything, And what's that? What's that gum cream they use for their dentures?
Citizen to one of those.
Dude, when that shit starts running out in Mossel Bay, dude, it's chaos. It's insane.
Please tell me where you go.
Yeah.
Not the tooth among them.
All right, dude. Okay. Speak to you later. Okay.
Take it easy, Joe.